And we are back once again with this. Oh boy. I'm back joined by John of John Newton Sci-Fi. And we are covering your new book that's coming out, right?
That's right. That's right. Death Has No Shadow. So I'm doing a new short story, the first of each month. This is the second month. The first one was A Taste of Earth that came out in July. Now August is Death Has No Shadow, and just going to continue going through until the novel is released.
And if someone wanted to pick up that novel, the short stories, where would they go?
They're both on Amazon right now, and Taste of Earth is on all the other distributors as well. Death Has No Shadow is not yet. That's being hung up a little bit. You can't get it on pre-order on most of them, but it'll be available on Wednesday. So all across the board. But it seems like Amazon is the big one. Most people are using Amazon.
No, it seems like that seems to be the roll of the dice. So if someone were to look at this, why would they want to pick this book up?
The first thing is just for entertainment value to say it's a quick short story. When the line between human and machine blurs, trust becomes a dangerous illusion. And the main idea is where is this line between human and machine? And can you download, can you save or record a soul to a machine to get some kind of recording of that? Is that even possible? So these are some of the questions that are asked in the story. And it's not that it becomes overwhelming. You got the story going on, and these are sidebars with it, but there's some twists that are going on with the story too that are related to that. So these are good ethical, moral questions that can be brought up, not only for yourself to ask these questions. I think we should all ask this as technology becomes more and more advanced. This isn't a possibility now, but I don't know, maybe 20 years from now, maybe 50 years from now, maybe something our kids would do is to come up to you. You're in your old folks' home, and your kids say, Grandpa, can we download you? We want a soul recording of you. And then you have to ask the ethical questions of, there's all sorts of implications that come out of this. So it's not that the story just asks, it's not like wooden to say these questions are being asked in a philosophical way, but they're wrapped up in a story. And those are things that you could use as a springboard for conversations with other people as well. So that's one of the good reasons for grabbing this story.
So it leads us to the question for this live stream, which is, does AI offer immortality?
Dun, dun, dun.
That works. So that is the question of the live stream. Now, this is an open call-in, so if you guys want to call in, give your opinions, we are open to having an open dialogue with you guys on it.
Are you checking to see if they're a robot before they come on here? Because,
yes, that does already happen. Actually.
Okay, good. Because you have AI coming on and saying, I'm going to justify my own existence and tell you humans that you shouldn't exist. It's just all us.
No. That would definitely fall under the category of
brother.
That's the answer to that.
I so much want to introduce myself as brother. Hi, this is Eric from Your Brother in Christ, and I'm brother. But didn't work out that way.
What I find hilarious is that's actually going a bit more viral than just the apologetic sphere. It's gone outside. I've seen it in some videos now that have nothing to do with apologetics or Islam at all.
Well, he's so animated when he does it. It's just like, it's more of an emotion so much as a sound than like a word.
So going back to the actual topic and stop talking about this little clip here.
Brother.
So, like I said, back to the topic.
Yeah.
So does AI offer immortality? The question is, what is immortality itself?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think you have to start off with definitions. What is AI and what is immortality? So what is, does this allow you to live forever if you have some kind of recording of your memories and maybe your thought processes? That's what we're talking about, downloading a soul, is that your memories are downloaded, all your memories from everything. which would kind of be kind of cool, but it's kind of evasive too, because I want to forget some things. There's some bad things that happen. I don't necessarily want those recorded.
Well, you could have the flip side of that, right?
What's that?
If they're able to download it to your brain,
can they upload it?
If they upload so they can get it off of your brain, can they also delete sections? Okay, accidentally press the delete button and be like, oh,
Control Alt.
Do I remember deleting that?
Format
Control
hard
Z.
drive.
Where's Control Z?
Yeah. No, so that's a good question. But the first thing is, what would it really take to do that? I don't think we're capable. We're definitely not capable of doing it now. Do I think that we would ever be that in the future? We don't even have a good definition of what the mind is right now.
No. So
how can we record it? That I don't know. So these are some of the questions we ask. What is it? So let's probably define what a soul is. We say download a soul. So the New Testament has a couple different words that it uses. One is soul and spirit. In some ways, in some verses, those look like they're interchangeable. In other verses, they look like they're talking about two different things. And the spirit, the suke, is another name for it. That's the Greek word for it. The suke is that's not spirit. I'm sorry. Suke is the psyche. That's like where we get psychology and all those other words today that we use from it. It looks like it means the mind, will, and emotion. So there's that word again, mind, where we don't really have a very good definition of what the mind is right now. We don't know where does it come from? Is it just a process of the brain that somehow that all just works together and the mind is just consciousness is just a cosmic accident, an accident of biology that because things work a certain way, your synapses fire, that you appear to be conscious. So there's that. And then the Bible also talks about the pneuma, the breath of God. It's the spirits that we have, and humans have that. There's no indication that animals have that in the Bible, so we're unique in that way that God has breathed into human beings. So there's the spirit, and then there's mind, will, and emotions. Well, if the mind, will, and emotions are just functions of the brain, if that's what it is, I'm not saying it is, but if that's what it is, and maybe the people in the chat can mention something about this, then you might be able to record that. Okay. Right? Maybe not now, but sometime in the future.
Sorry, about ready to make some more goats.
What is that?
I had to appeal them trying to take down the live stream on TikTok.
Why? We're not doing anything that's...
I know, but...
What's controversial about this?
I don't know. I really don't. They don't tell you. They just say, hey, we don't like this
Is anymore. Somebody just making a complaint?
They're making false complaints. The appeal went through. So we're good. Hey, we're still here. Look at that. So Breakfast Gun had a point here.
Yeah, he's going to turn us off.
Yeah,
you cannot talk about that.
The artificial intelligence on TikTok is going to take down this live stream about the artificial intelligence.
We've been terminated. What does he say?
So here we go. So he's not sure if this would open us up to the possibility of a demon possession.
Yeah. So that's a good question. So we know that we have the breath of God, right? And so somewhere there on the spiritual realm, there's the crossover because we're physical beings, but yet we still have a spiritual component. And there's a question, about animals. I don't believe that animals do have a spirit. I believe they do have a soul, mind, will, and emotions. I've got a couple of dogs. I know what they're like. So there's that. But then, what was he saying with that? The demon possession.
Yeah, demon possession.
I don't think a spirit will inhabit an AI, a computer circuits. So I'm an electrical engineer. I've done some circuit design in the past. I don't see where they can do it other than spirit. Demons can possess people on some level. Are they interacting with the physical part or just the spiritual part for that?
That is a deep question.
Seriously, I don't. Sure. If you look at, so we'd have to look at scripture to see what it says about that. I don't know.
So the idea would be if you uploaded yourself, if you made a copy of yourself. Well, this context, what you were talking about was just a copy of yourself
Correct.
that stays on the cloud, and you still continue living your life. If they downloaded that into an artificial brain, would that be open to
demon possession
in some way? From a Christian standpoint, there could be a possibility. I would never trust the artificial me in any way, shape, or form. And in fact, I'd be really questioning it personally.
I don't know. I would also be questioning it more like, is there some other nefarious, whatever corporate identity created this artificial shell that your memories and your thought processes, your thought engrams are going to be downloaded to. I'd be more concerned about if it's Microsoft or whoever putting this together, because they do that with AIs right now, large language models, to put the rules around it. There's some certain things they cannot say. So I would be concerned about that. I'm not so sure about the demon possession thing, though.
Well, this leads to a whole nother level too. So, I mean, if you're looking from the secular side and you say, well, no, we all evolved and we're all from monkeys and apes and God has nothing to do with it, there's no spiritual side of it at all, then they would just be making the argument, basically copying and pasting that.
Just killed an AI.
Yes.
Do the brother ooh thing. There's bug juice here. Okay, so no,
brother.
Hey, it's poetic.
Sorry, that thing has been bugging us, literally. So these are some of the questions that a story like this would generate. It would kind of laugh at maybe laugh at sci-fi in general and say, that's just goofy stuff that these guys are making up, and we never have that. But you look at the influence that a show like Star Trek, the original series, had on engineering. It inspired engineers to get involved, and it also the flip communicator. Remember the old flip phones? They have that. There may be some inspiration with that. And so all sorts of other things that science fiction inspires. And when they do that, there might be questions of ethics that are involved. And those questions then get bantered around and kind of answered early, so that when that technology does come around, there's already a foundation. And if Christians start asking those questions now, we're coming late to the game.
Oh, yeah. So, and this is something that I could easily see the secular world jumping on top of. Like, oh, yeah, just upload it. That way you're always there. Or you get a virtual reality concept where you just upload yourself to this virtual reality concept and you no longer need your body because you're just all on the net.
Okay, so here's some ethical questions. I'm not even sure exactly what a soul download would look like. Do you need to sit down and have some kind of cap go in your brain? Or if you do already have a chip embedded in your brain, it's like it's going to go ahead and start recording things, and maybe even without you even knowing. Maybe that's in the contract in this fine print somewhere where they're saying that they can, for
safety purposes
or developmental purposes, we want to develop this and you're helping us, right? Well, then you get the whole download thing, and then it goes on. So many ethical questions would be asked about this. And one of the questions that this story asks is, well, what if you didn't know?
What if you didn't know?
If the company that you're working for, you are so valuable as intellectual property, you know so much about the process and development and everything, we want to make an AI with your personality and memory imprinted on it.
So it's not only, hey, come work for me. It's, hey, come work for me. And I get copyright to your memories and your identity.
Yeah.
Seems a little scary. We have a question. Wouldn't that be an eternal hell? Yeah. In my opinion, yes.
For what? For the
if he's talking about the virtual reality.
Right.
So
Yeah, to do that, how far that would go. So let's say that, now we're not saying that, golly, would you wake up one morning if you were actually the download? Would you wake up one morning? Let's say that you were downloaded and put into an android that looked just like you. Okay. And that android had all your memories. It's like you go to sleep tonight and you wake up tomorrow morning and you have no idea. That android just looks, I mean, it has like biological processes. So as far as you know, that is you.
Well, you even got the memory like manipulation thing going on. You could they could edit
your
it.
memories.
They could take you back to a point where, okay, you were thinking about doing this, you decided not to, yada yada, and that's where we want you to go back to, or even before the concept itself even existed.
Just reset
before the concept even came into being. They went back to that point so that you think it's always this year.
Yeah.
And there's not even a possibility that you would be questioning if you were an AI. That would be
yeah.
That would be
scary. Creepy. So here's the other, talking about this health thing though. Who was it who made the comment?
It's Zen Master, I think.
Zen Master.
This guy, yeah, right here.
Zen Master. Dude, you picked a name that was like probably one of the first few names that were available on Google. My golly. Okay, so it's not like Zen Master 446 or something like this. Is the Zen Master
on YouTube. It doesn't matter.
Oh, you can't.
They separated out your @ from your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
My @ and my name are the same because I'm just that good.
Okay, I apologize.
I've been here long enough.
So anyway, with his comment here, wouldn't that be an eternal hell? I guess if you are, you could be played with and
you could be tormented.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that also leads to it. I mean, if you had a society that decided that you did something so horrendous that you needed to suffer for the next 50 years guaranteed.
Oh, there's a movie that came out like that a while back.
That is.
Oh, somebody in the chat helped me out with this. There was a movie. There were guys who were basically in prison because it captivated their mind. And they were almost in this cryogenic state. But that's what the prison was.
It doesn't affect your family at all. It doesn't affect anyone outside of you. You're the only one. You're in there for like 5 minutes or 5 seconds or something like that.
It could be. I mean, it could be sped up so that you feel like you're in there for 50 years.
And then you pop back out and you have lived it mentally, gone through the torment, but no one else around you experienced it.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, you could see that being sold to society.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about a prison breakout or any problems with the prison.
And decrease in prison funding because you don't need to have big facilities. You just need these VR rooms for a few seconds, and boom, he's done.
Yeah,
I mean, you could shut down most of the prisons with this.
Oh my gosh, there are so many things that are
so much money.
So let me throw out.
I'm selling this thing.
I want to make sure I'm not missing any of the good chat because you guys are coming up with some good ideas here. Check those out, and I'm gonna because I got a couple ideas I want to throw out there. Criminal something. I have an idea I want to throw out there as a possibility with this or a problem. With this technology, just like when we had introduced cell phones,
here's the answer to your question, by the way.
Movie called
Upgrade.
What's Upgrade?
I don't know if
I don't think that was it.
I don't remember.
It had Sylvester Stallone in it, I believe, too. So it was an older movie. And it was like Time Cop Sam. I mean,
that's not relevant.
No. But okay, so if it is possible to do this, and I'm sure that over time there's going to be limited ability to do this. Maybe you're not going to get a full download. But let's say you're working for a company, and as part of their policy, they have AI monitoring security in the facility. Okay, so this is cybersecurity. AI is monitoring. It's reading all your emails. It's reading all your transactions and everything. And then lo and behold, it is making a model of you during the process. This is totally feasible. I see this happening easily within 5-10 years. It makes a model of you, the ideal employee, with your best practices and everything. And let's say that you're doing most of it's a desk job. It's not a physical job. You're doing a design. Maybe you're a CAD designer or something like that. And you're sitting at your desk doing it. And you come into work one day and they say, hey, we're doing some downsizing. I'm sorry to say, but we're going to have to let you go. And you find out talking to some of the other employees a week later, you've been replaced by the AI because the AI has been watching you at work and now has modeled you as the ideal employee.
Oof, rough. Okay, right? So real quick, I do need to take care of a little bit of house cleaning with Radar Apologetics. He's asking me, how am I doing this stream with such high quality on TikTok? The answer is, yeah, I'm using TikTok Studio. I am restreaming StreamYard to TikTok. It's complicated. If you want to know, talk to me later. I'll show you how to do it.
We don't want to sell the trade secrets right off the bat, right?
Well, it's a bit complicated. It would take me maybe 15 minutes to explain all the details.
Okay.
So not for this live stream, but I'm more than happy to share that with your Radar later on.
Okay, cool.
So
good question. So let's say that happens. You do have this AI that they make. Okay, it's a new model, right? They may even give it your last name. Who knows? Right? And it's in the fine print of the contract that you have at work. They're able to do this. What would be worse is you come in and the email that they don't even talk to you in person. They don't give you an exit interview. They don't even talk to you in person. The AI itself writes your termination email and sends it to you.
Adding insult to injury.
That would eventually happen.
Nasty.
But it'd be cool because that would be HR is replaced by the AI too. So I mean,
well, you don't need an HR system at that point.
No, I just need
I don't even know if I would necessarily let the other employees know that I've replaced you.
They would know instead of doing your work like you usually do, that gets around that somebody else is doing it. So and
if they look exactly like you and they act exactly like you,
no. I'm just saying it's done totally in the cloud. It's done by an AI producing.
Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about.
Like it was just CAD work. Someone was just producing drawings for the most part.
And get replaced. Oh, boy.
And maybe even show up at meetings. So it's on the speaker and it talks. It's smart enough to talk to the other individuals.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
Watching you all the time.
And then slowly over time, more and more people were replaced. And finally in the conference room, all you have is a speaker and a bunch of AIs arguing with each other. I'm not kidding, man. This stuff is like, it is on the horizon. Now, I'm not anti-AI, but it's just like, this is a tool we've got to be very careful with.
Ugh, brother, ugh.
Yes, exactly. So these are questions that we need to ask, and a good way to ask them sometimes is in a story, because these kind of percolate up to the surface. And telling it in a story, it's not as direct. You get people thinking it going in a certain direction. So that's one of the points of doing it as a science fiction.
So, man.
I'm not kidding,
Lots
man.
of possibilities with AIs.
There is so much. I'm sure that we're getting some other comments in here.
So Radar rocks. I would agree.
Yes, that one there. I don't think that was the name of the movie. I'm not prepared for this. Otherwise, I would have the movie called Demon Seed. No,
there might be a lot of different movies tackling
this is
this
one.
concept.
I think what happened was the idea that the premise of the movie was a guy basically is maybe in a coma or cryogenic sleep, and he goes into the future, and the future is so different from what he expected. Everybody is like bubble wrapped, and and their prisoners are basically in this mind stasis. That's one of the things that they do to them.
So interesting. So I'm trying to see if there's anything else there. Now you're just throwing out random movies.
No, almost. Almost.
Well,
almost
no, you're right,
because it was about the same time. But that
was more like a virtual reality thing.
Well, it was, but they were able to change his memories. Remember in that one?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, John Mark. The other employees wonder why you don't show up to lunch break anymore.
I'm just working. I'm going to work straight through lunch break.
Yeah.
If anyone tells you that, you got to make. It's a little weird.
What's up with Devin, man? He's like he never says hi anymore. He just his office is closed and all his windows are boarded up.
So yeah, Radar sent a couple gifts. Thank you very much on TikTok. Yeah, you'll DM me later. I'll give you the rundown and break it down so we can start using this more often.
Now the link for the short story is in the description.
Yes, you can get
correct
the link to the short story that started the concept for this live stream. You can get that in the description. It's what's it going at right now?
It's 99 cents.
99 cents.
It's Death Has No Shadow. It is when the line between human and machine blurs, trust becomes a dangerous illusion. So is this a good time to give a rundown?
Give a rundown.
What it is?
Rundown,
okay.
Yeah.
So in a hidden lab on a volcanic island, Kutisha, the main character, her grief-stricken life is shattered by a rogue nanites. These have escaped from a military facility, and she must choose between her groundbreaking research and a desperate gamble to save everything. Aided by a sentient AI in her lab and a mechanized shock trooper who comes to help her from the local base, she faces a harrowing battle. Where the lines between human and machine blur, Death Has No Shadow, she has to make a decision on who to trust. And it's all real. This is more like a Twilight Zone type of thing where there's some twists involved here that you may not see coming, or maybe you do.
So is this in the same series as a short story you released last month?
Right? It is in the same group, but it's not like this is part 2. They're all in the same kind of genre. So last month, it was about a meteor that hits Earth that does not act like a meteor. And there's other things that happen with that. And there's a question there, deeper question is, there's aliens involved. Can aliens be saved? Is there a salvation for aliens? And this has a broader question for humans as well.
So if you want to pick up that one, that is in my notes, that is A Taste of Earth, right?
A Taste of Earth, right. Yeah, and this is a companion of that. This is the second, but it's just because it's in the same group. It's not like a part 2 to it.
Okay, so it's in the same universe.
Yes.
Okay.
So what think of it like the MCU, right? So I want to thank you guys who did pick up the first one. It has been keeping up in the top 20 since its release, which is unusual for short stories. There has been some hiccups with the second one that have caused some problems with the rating. But for those who have picked up the first one and have enjoyed it, I've got a lot of good reviews about it. I appreciate the support. So it's been fantastic. And this is also, I want to say this too. Christians, my parents' generation, when they looked at Hollywood and entertainment, they basically said, you know what, that's the devil's work. We don't want to do anything with that. That's just fluff. That's just frivolous. The downside of that has been what has hit our generations with that. And that is that creates culture. What's in books, in movies, on TV, music, that all creates culture. And now we're living downstream from that culture, and a culture that is becoming increasingly anti-Christian. So we're looking at this and say, what happened? So we can retake the reins of that. And Jesus used stories too. So there's the whole idea of using stories to teach principles, teach subjects.
So that is the concept behind this sort of, I don't know if you want to say movement or at least work that you're doing. Yes, we need to keep up with the culture. We need to be aware if we sleep, things might happen that we don't want. I'd recommend looking at what is going on over in England.
Oh, right now. Yeah. With the cultural shift. Yeah, we've got to guard this. Guard it hard. Do not let it be taken over, replaced, because there are some really good stories, some virtues that are here that are taught by our past that we need to hold on to. The Judeo-Christian ethic that has helped form Western culture, we can't let that slip.
No, and if we sleep on our culture, our kids will be the consequences of that.
Okay, so I see some other guesses here in the chat. Not Judge Dredd. Man, this is going to be like somebody's going to get a prize for guessing this. Not Free Jack.
Free Jack. I think he said that wasn't it anyway.
Oh, okay.
I think we had another one. I don't see it though. So
I know as soon as I see it, I'm going to say, yeah, that was it. It's not like almost like, it wasn't Minority Report either, although that was a good one. That would be a good one to do.
I think this might have been another one. At least it reminds
Demolition Man.
I
think that's it.
Aha! There you go.
I think put that back up, please. Put that back up because I think it's got a comment there. So that reminds me of Demolition Man. He was kind of frozen. Wesley Snipes character. Yep.
Oh, you got it.
So bingo. I don't know what kind of prize you get, but you get it. You get
Phil, you have got
all the glory.
You have won.
We're not worthy.
You nailed it. Fantastic.
So yeah, and then we do on my channel we do reviews of movies, TV shows, and also apologetics and theology. We also review books as well. So that type of thing, looking at culture, and we do ask the question on the channel, what Christian themes can we see for that? I'm going to be doing one with you come Tuesday on the most recent release, and that is Twisters. And the question is, are there any Christian themes in it? We'll say, why would you look for Christian themes in a story in a movie like this? Because when you're sitting there talking to somebody about it, you can bring these up as a topic of conversation. So I think that's pretty good. I got a good one for that. That's coming up.
Okay, good, because I don't yet. I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it yet?
Nope, haven't seen it yet.
Okay. It's
been a busy weekend.
Yeah.
So haven't got to that one yet. So we'll be covering that on Tuesday, and hopefully by then I would have watched it.
Okay.
But we'll find out.
I hope so too. Yeah. So do we have any, I am curious to see, do we have any other comments about the ethics of this whole thing with A? Now you did a video on AI itself and asking some questions of ChatGPT.
Yeah, I did a video on that. I know you did a video on it about Christmas, asking some questions about Christmas, which is rather interesting. I did it about Islam, which was an interesting result. But you guys will have to go watch that one.
Yeah. So we're not talking about that necessarily. This is the question or the ethic that's involved in this is, first of all, what is a human soul? And then is there a way that you can download that or make a record of that, either for posterity or not? Here's another ethical question. I'm going to put this out for you. I don't know if you're watching the chat to see if somebody else has something else for this, but another ethical question with the soul recording, where a recording of your memories and your personality, your mind, will, and emotions. That's what I'm talking about, soul. If that were ever possible, that would be the question of immortality.
That would be the question of immortality. Another thing I would have with that is, who owns the copyright?
That's a good question. Who owns
it? Does it go through your generations, or does
your family, like kept in your family, like in the States?
Yeah, someone. Does your children own it, or I forget where it is. Don't see it at this point, but someone in the chat did say Google owns it. Google own your memories, everything you've done. Stop for a second. Let's stop for a second and think this through. What happens if someone wants to find something illegal on you? Like say, hey, did you ever break the law at any given time?
All your secrets.
All your secrets exposed. All your secrets on the CloudForge. Fine, I just killed it for everyone. Everyone's like, nope.
Yeah.
There's stuff in
you
my
must
past
be able to have edit rights, but
out.
you imagine trying to edit all your memories, how long that would take?
Well, who else gets to see it? What if you have a data leak? What if your memories start getting posted?
There's some
all
of these
over the
questions
internet?
in this short story, by the way. This does come up.
I mean, it opens a whole can of worms here.
Pandora's box.
And these aren't gummy worms.
No. This Pandora's box. There are references to Pandora's box, the original story within Death Has No Shadow. There are some references to it in that.
So yeah, we got a couple comments here. It is true. Everything posted on Google is the property of Google.
Have we already sold our souls to this for the convenience of technology?
Now it's a convenience of eternity. Oh, just tell me a little bit more. You've already pressed the I accept all conditions, right?
Yeah. How often do we actually read through that with a fine tooth comb?
Google.
And do you have much of a choice? Like if you get a smartphone, there are the terms and conditions. You don't have I mean, if you're going to use things like, now I already bought it. Now what am I going to do? Am I going to say no? I got to use this thing. I don't have a choice.
So we do have a caller here. I'm going to go ahead and let them on up. Please do remember to stay on topic. If you're going to tell me I don't know what the topic is because I haven't been watching the stream, go away and come back.
We have an echo.
Can you hear me, yeah?
Woo, buddy. Do you have headphones?
No, not yet, no. I'll come back. Let me go and come back here.
Okay. That will work. Sorry, yes, need to not be able to hear myself
because you get
back.
the feedback of the microphone and everything, the speaker says.
Yes, echo. Yes, I know there's an echo. It's pretty obvious. I can't miss that one.
Yeah, that was within his control, not us, because it's his audio. So imagine, okay, so you make this soul download, recording all your memories and stuff like that. And maybe you do it just for your family, and you make sure that you have all rights and none of that gets leaked onto the cloud. It's just local, okay? Your wife, or whatever the situation may be, husband or whatever. So your wife, let's say your wife were to make a copy of you and you pass away. All right? Now she has that, and she then downloads it into an AI, so it's active. She can interact with it and she can talk to you. And then there's a whole question of unresolved grief because she's still talking to what sounds like you. And that AI can develop and grow over time. It has recurring memories and more memories now because it remembers what it did with her yesterday. Then she finds another husband. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I don't think
she finds another husband, and that's a replacement. Now your kids have the AI dad and they have the stepdad. What's going to be the tension there in the family?
Oh, I see a soap opera coming.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So there's all sorts of short stories that can come out of
my
this.
AI dad and my stepdad.
Dad. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So do you have somebody there?
I guess some movie recommendations maybe for you to look at later on.
Yeah, Ex Machina. I was thinking about that, and I got to be very careful because one of the things I have on the channel is try to keep it clean. So pretty much.
I don't know anything about it.
What's that?
I don't know anything about it.
Make sure that there's no sex nudity.
Oh, I mean,
that just happened when we did Firefly. I forgot about that, and it kind of snuck in. So generally speaking, we try to keep away from that. Violence, as long as it's not gratuitous, no problem with the violence. It's just more of the sex thing that's on there. Because as guys, well, we tend to have problems with that. So keep away from that. But we're looking into Ex Machina. That would be a very good question, possibly of doing that.
So joining the YouTube chat while we're still allowed in the UK. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man.
Feel for your brother.
I don't know what's going on over there. Well, sister, but yeah.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure.
Sorry.
They got 50-50 shot.
Yeah, I do.
And by the statistics on my YouTube channel, you've got actually.
That was Yaffle, right?
Yaffle. Yep.
Okay. I've seen her before.
Yep. Okay. UK having not what it was not the point of this live stream, but yeah, it's huge right now.
So yeah, I know it's not the point of the live stream.
Actually, it's kind of relevant to why you are doing these, because the reason why they are having the issues now in the UK that they're having is the Christians there let go of the culture. And in so doing, just like I'm not saying that because America's better. We haven't no, we've been sleeping.
Well, to give them a little bit of credit, I'm not sure the citizens actually willfully gave that up.
Oh, no.
Other than taking up arms, which you don't have the same right to bear arms there that you do here. But it's the I believe it's the government, right? The government has basically possibly sold them out.
Basically, that's what it looks like in a lot of ways. That might be the deal.
Yeah. So do hang on to your culture. It is important. Because if their culture is important, why can't you say that your culture is important? Especially since it's had so...
Trying to wake up the church leaders. Yep.
Yeah. Since it is... Oh my gosh. I can just imagine all that Great Britain has been through the centuries. Fighting so hard, and then just I wouldn't say giving up, but allowing this to be washed away. I got to be careful on how I got to be careful in choosing my words.
They're picking it up. They're trying to reclaim it, but it could have been done easier at an earlier stage.
Yeah.
But now you got to do what you got to do.
And that is why one of the reasons why I do writing science fiction, or writing in general fiction, is because of trying to recapture that culture, to say that no, Christians are involved, because they're usually cast in such dark lights in a lot of films. Does AI offer immortality? Okay,
which is the topic of the question.
So yeah, so let's define what immortality is. We did define a soul. So if you're just joining us, the soul would be mind, will, and emotions. The Greek word used in the New Testament would be psyche. Sometimes it's interchangeable with the word pneuma, which is spirit. Sometimes you see those two interchanged, but not necessarily. That is the unseen. The reason why it's interchanged is because it seems to be the unseen part. You have physical body. We all understand that. And then there's something not physical. As far as I know, psychologists, scientists, biologists are not able today to really well define what a mind is, or where necessarily our mind comes from. We know brain's not a problem. It's the how consciousness actually works. I'm not talking about being aware. We're talking about self-aware, more of that. So being able to download that and preserve that, that's not the same thing as a soul. Just like we can actually have a physical recording like we do right now. That's not the same as imprinting. People did, when we had photographs originally, they were thinking that maybe you're actually stealing someone's soul. I remember when I was in Saudi Arabia one time that a little old lady on the side of the road started hitting me with her cane because she thought I was taking a picture of her with my camera that was slung to the side. I was not stealing her soul. Even if I was taking a picture at the time, I wasn't stealing her soul. But people did think that, right?
Oh, yeah.
There was some, not everybody, but there were people that think that maybe you're capturing someone's spiritual essence as well. So immortality, just because you're able to record someone's actions, doesn't mean you're necessarily capturing their spirit. The spirit then is that part that's going to live for eternity, one place or another. The question isn't whether you're going to live forever. The question is location, location, location. So that part's important. And would AI gift us immortality? We already have immortality. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, but I could see the world trying to present it as they do, as the world often does, as a fraudulent alternative.
Right.
Just like the world offers
you can live forever
pleasures fraudulently outside of the Lord's plan, and it looks good, but it's cancerous.
The best it can do is mimic you. It won't be able to actually be you. It might be a really, really, really good reproduction. Just like a photograph is a good production of how we look. And maybe 300, 400 years ago, best you could do was a really good painting by a good artist.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the question on the man. This is one creepy question, but with AI growing the way it is growing,
yeah. Somebody out there either refute me, say, "Hey, no, you got it wrong," and I could be wrong, but throw out a challenge, just thinking, challenge the fact to say that, hey, no, you really could do this, and that really is your soul. You actually would live forever, and I would say no. We only live forever on the spiritual line, although we will have resurrected bodies. So there is the physical aspect as well. 1 Corinthians 15 talks about that.
So we do have a poll going on. Do you like science fiction? We have, I'd say, 73% of the votes say yes. 27 say
yes. No. Yes.
23% also called you a nerd, but
that's okay. That's fine. I embrace my, I almost said sexual identity.
We're not dealing with them on this live stream.
I am. Yeah. So, hey, you know what? Nerds rule. So I don't care. They called me that when I was a kid. 4 eyes, back in school, all that kind of stuff. It hurt. I was damaged as a child. It's okay. It works. Who's a Mike Winger Star Trek nerd here? Yeah, well, at the conference that you and Elle had,
yep,
and David Wood showed up, I was so tempted to get a T-shirt that said, "I love Mike Winger" on the front, and on the back it would say, "And David Wood's okay too."
Yeah, talking about the individual there. Welcome, bud.
Oh, this is too funny.
What's up?
The timing is perfect. Well, who the heck is this? Is this Winger or Wood? This has got to be Winger. I would say 100%. This is Mike Winger because you got your picture there. So that is you.
I think it's the Winger thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So what would he say on this subject? What would Mike Winger say on this?
Let's see. Does AI offer immortality? No.
No. And why not?
That's a short answer. Give me the long answer.
You bigot. Why not?
The next 15 minutes full of, I want a 15-minute long essay on why.
It would be. That would be a Wingerism, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I mean, because if your mind and your soul is just, I guess, a collection of memories that are stored in your brain, then yes. But if who we are is actually mind, body, and soul, then we cannot replicate the soul.
Okay, well, that's okay. So we were going by the definition of soul being mind, will, and emotions, mm-hmm. and have spirit as something different. So we wouldn't be able to replicate the spirit, right? I think that's big. Some of these terminologies, they do overlap in the New Testament, so I don't want to be too dogmatic about this. Mm-hmm. But just to be clear on terminology, then we could not duplicate.
There's some, yeah. There's some things. Yeah, there are some things about us that we cannot replicate that only God Himself can replicate.
Yeah. What happens if in the future, though? I mean, maybe a couple of generations from now, it may not be that long, we're able to have maybe high resolution MRI scans of the brain, see where all those neurons go, all the synapses, and we're able to duplicate that on silicon. And then now we've got that, and we add to that, that's the framework, we add to that your memories. Well, that's pretty close, isn't it?
I mean, it's pretty close, but I don't think you can actually get you, no matter how hard you try. You could get everything that looks like you there, but I don't think you can get you there.
I hope we don't. I hope it never gets to that point, because that would be, to me, that'd be really scary.
Oh, yeah, that would be terrifying.
Because for one thing, if you do that, you can duplicate it, right? Right now, you can't duplicate yourself. You are the only you that there is, Mike Winger.
The world doesn't know what to do with one of me. Why would it want more?
Yeah, but if you can
exactly,
and then if you can duplicate it, you modify it.
Yeah, somebody
Right.
that desecrates the Quran on a regular basis.
Yep.
Why would we want an entire
Been there, done
army of
that.
people that desecrate the Quran on a regular basis in response to Muslims doing bad things?
But there's a reason why he does that, right?
Yes.
There is only. I mean, he's just not doing that willy nilly. That's yeah. And what is the reason that would be done?
Well, that depends on what is going on at the time. A lot of times it's in response to things that Muslims are doing that are wrong.
Mhm.
And since they value the Quran more than they value anything else,
Even human
including
life.
human life, I don't mind ripping up a book.
So let's say we were able, Mr. Winger, to download your soul. So mind, will, and emotions. We got basically a recording of the way that you think. And then we could do the same with Mr. Wood, or Dr. Wood, sorry, Dr. David Wood. And now we then combine the both of you together, right?
The world is not ready for that combination. Just saying.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. So
the fusion of Mike Winger and David Wood.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm looking at some of the chats here to make sure that we're not missing anything. I Wingnut Movies, Peter Jackson. Yeah, I think there's some good ones in here. And my hat's off to you. I'm sorry if we missed anything else that's there. I think that's a definite possibility. Audiobook. Now, I don't know. This is a comment here by Professor Yoffel. I don't know if you're asking. Is that? I have been asked if there are going to be.
It's talking about your books.
Okay.
The two that you've got.
Okay. So there has been talk about doing that before. I was originally planning to do audiobooks. I have done audiobooks in the past. I personally prefer audiobooks because I'm so busy and be able to plug them in. I do not yet have them for the short stories. I'm thinking what's going to happen is either they could be done later individually or put them together as an anthology. But don't hold off for it. Go ahead and get the ebooks now, and then you can always pick those up later. When the novel comes out, my goal is the novel's complete, the first novel, and the second novel is pretty much complete too. But I don't have an audiobook version of that. That's something I need to be working on to be able to get it. November 1st that's when that's coming out. And that has to do, time travel is involved with that one. Woohoo! So if you like time travel, you might like that one. And so what else we got?
Do you see anything else there on the chat that seems to pop out at you? There.
This one. How about that one there? That looks interesting. Trapped in the flesh, being tested to see worthy of heaven or deserve hell. I don't know if that's talking about the AI type of thing or if there's another conversation.
Us in general, I guess, would be where that perspective would come from. I mean, we would be trapped forever on this earth if the AI upload thing we were doing. So if you upload yourself to the AI and it actually worked, we literally be trapped here. We would never end up entering into heaven.
Well, okay, but that would be because they don't have, all they have is just memories and thought logic programming, not necessarily us. And the soul then, or the spirit, is not, they don't have that captured. So they're not able to do that. I think that's the saving grace here is, they could torture your memories, but what's that? It's like taking a DVD of all your recordings and then just like, oh, I'm going to break this thing. I'm wobbling it back and forth. It's not.
So I do have another poll going on, guys. If you want to participate in that, it's a question if we are only a biological machine or not. Oh, an interesting result so far. So make sure to get your vote in there because that would be the main question, right? Because if we were just a biological machine, why wouldn't you be able to recreate the biological machine?
Really good question.
Because it should just be a copy-paste situation where you make sure the electrons are firing, make sure that all the pathways are the same strength. I mean, it'd be a lot of work. I'm not belittling that. But if we're only a biological machine, then you should be able to recreate it. If we are more than just a biological machine, there you go.
I'm going to keep my answer to myself. I'm not going to put out.
Well, I mean, this has huge implications as far as humanity in general. Are you just reacting to outside stimuli only because of the neurons that fire in your brain?
Well, atheism says we are just the product of a mindless mudhole and a cosmic accident, basically. And just by happenstance over billions of years, voila, there you are. And there's no difference between you and something else that's equally as complex. That's it.
So that would be a question for each of us individually. Do you define yourself only as reactionary to everything? Or do you actually have your own decisions? Yeah. Because in that point, really, if you were just looking at that point, you can't blame anyone for anything they've ever done.
What does the Winger-Wood hybrid say in this case?
The Winger-Wood hybrid?
Yes. That'd be you.
Yeah. If we're only, I guess, a byproduct of evolution over millions and billions of years, why couldn't we just, transfer everything over to another, I guess, immortal thing that could last more than 80 years?
Yeah.
And then why wouldn't you just transfer into a newer model every few months?
So here's one right there. He was saying that watch the movie called Upgrade. You know what that is? I'm going to write that one down because I'm always looking at possible movies to do reviews on. The newer the better, but there are some classics that are worth looking at as well. So Upgrade, that might be a good one here.
What if DNA is not AI generated? There's no way. I've seen so many AI generated garbage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, watch the fingers, boys. Watch the fingers.
Yep. Oh, by the way, I actually got AI to fulfill the chronic challenge.
Ah, so it wrote something like the Quran is what you're claiming.
Yes.
You see, the fun thing is, according to the Quran, we are actually the judge of that. So we get judged if it passes or fails.
Ooh, okay.
That's the part the Muslims don't always focus on.
Wow.
They always say, well, you can't make anything like it. It's a miracle. I'm like, you do realize that by the definitions of that challenge, the Christians and the Jews are the ones making the judgment call.
Yes.
Not the Muslims.
Okay, so...
Actually, I created 10 surahs like it, actually. So, not just one, but 10.
Yeah. I want to throw something out here. I'm going to say that AI does not offer immortality any more than you chiseling your name on a rock and throwing it into the sea gives you immortality. Because it is only an impression at best. This so-called soul recording is only an impression of what you are right now. It is not you. It's a reflection. That's it. And so is your chiseling it into rock and throwing it into the sea is you've made an impression. That's your legacy. I think that's the thing that people who don't believe in God would say they want to have a legacy. And I think that's important to them. Some form of immortality, because otherwise you're dust. Once you're done, you're done.
Well, that's been throughout history. I mean, with the Greeks, having your name known through the centuries was the thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was getting to be that famous was what they wanted, to become a hero and become immortal in that way. Well, it doesn't work that way.
Okay. I think there's a couple of others here if you want to put that one up there. Fine, I admit it. I'm AI generated. Apostate.
No,
you are not, sister. I know that you're
live
not.
stream yesterday, so no, you are.
How do you know that was actually her?
That's a good question.
Could have been AI generated for all you
know. I saw fingers.
You
The fingers were human.
have to
There
check.
wasn't alien fingers
That's
coming
the
up.
new "Am I a Robot?" check. Show me your fingers. So we've got. Oh yeah, exactly. She said exactly.
Is that why who was it? Ali Dawood asked me to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think so. I think he was making sure he was ahead of the curve, making sure you were not an AI by checking your fingers.
So we have a comment here from Phil saying, upgrade. Set in the near future, technology controls nearly all aspects of life, but when Gray, self-identified technophobe, has his world turned upside down. Yeah, I think I saw parts of this. This isn't the one that I was thinking of, but this is that might be something that is similar to the short story that might be have some crossover to it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So let's see here. I'm also trying to check the other chat as well.
You're multitasking here.
Oh yeah,
how you're able to keep this all going
here.
You almost need to have somebody else involved in doing all this.
Well, that would be handy, but I do not have that yet.
No. You know, you could have an AI that does that.
Yeah, we're not doing that. I already have enough problems with the AIs on both YouTube and TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't need a third AI talking to those other AIs, trying to all have a conspiracy against me at that point.
Yes. So death has no shadow. When the line between human and machine blurs, trust becomes an illusion. And all that goes with this AI immortality. No, it does not. Now, you'd have a kind of a cool recording, but then the question that you were asking earlier is who owns that? You know, Microsoft or whoever is going to have their hands in it, right? Google, what's
Disney's
that?
is going to get
Disney.
Disney's going to get it, and then they're going to pick people's lives apart and just make movies out of them.
Oh my gosh, heck no.
So
heck no.
My question
imagine
is,
your life, but as a Disney movie.
No.
If AI were to replicate David Wood or Derek, would they alter Derek and David's memories to be more Islamic friendly?
That's the other question. You know, if they are controlling your memories, are they able to edit them? Are they able to selectively delete sections? If they are, then at that point, they just use you as a template.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so here's another aspect of it. Say you are working at this place. They require this sort of upload. You do this upload. You die, right? You passed away. And now this AI comes and takes over your job, continues your research or development or whatever you're doing. Who's getting paid?
That is a good question.
If you're creating, let's say you're creating pop cans. So that's what you're doing. Your job is creating pop cans and they do AI. I don't know why. Maybe you're designing a brand new sort of pop can here and they want your brain for future use. Who owns that patent? Is it always going to be owned by the company that copied you and pasted you into this new body? What about the work that you do? You're not getting, the AI necessarily isn't getting paid, or is it? Are you actually paying them?
I would hope that whatever clause you do for downloading this, that you would say that your family, your estate, would be the recipients of any proceeds that are from that. You know,
I mean, if they want to do a sneaky way of doing it, all they have to do is like release a VR system that has the capability of doing the downloading while you're playing a video game.
Or do we do that when we ask AI questions? Is it really?
Is it mapping? Is it learning?
Is it learning from us?
Well, what I was saying with the AI, with the virtual reality copying, uploading you, all you have to do is at the beginning not have that as part of your terms of services. About a year into it, when you've got all the users, then put it in there and then send an email to everyone saying, hey, we just updated our terms of service. Why don't you click this checkbox here and agree with this? And it's like, how many people would just check that checkbox
'cause
without
you're already
reading
there.
it?
You're already using that. And
You're already using it. Of course, I want to keep using it.
All of a sudden, that changes. Okay, so Apostate of Allah has this one here. My life would be a dark humor rated R Disney movie.
Hey, they do rated R movies.
And what character would it
Deadpool.
be? Yeah, that's true. They do. Touchstone. They did Touchstone Pictures. Was actually an arm of Disney. They no longer Touchstone Pictures no longer exist, but that was Disney. A lot of people don't know all these other studios that came out of Disney actually owned.
Must be an AP fan coming over here with all this dark humor.
So let's see here. Go and show the link again. Is there anything else you want to grab?
Oh, golly. I'm not sure what this is talking about here. Pharaohs made themselves God, trying for immortality. That was the whole thing with them, is to try to do that, right?
Yeah, the Greeks trying to become heroes to be able to enter into Mount Olympus and have your name known for all eternity. You have pharaohs trying to become immortality, trying to become immortal through mummification.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, this is
so. How many of the elites, even right now, are doing sketchy ethical things with either blood or with genetics, or somehow trying to preserve themselves? You look at somebody like, I don't know, I want to pick on him too much. Let's say Zuckerberg he's young now, but there might be something later on where he gets closer to the end of his life. Bill Gates is there, right?
Mm-hmm.
His wife has left him. He is what is his legacy? Those people would try to say, and maybe in some ways it's good in terms of maybe they're putting more into charity, putting more into sponsoring certain things that are beneficial, and maybe not some of the things that Gates is, but they're seeking immortality like that, right?
Yeah. So, and what lines are they willing to cross in order to get it? I mean, how far are they willing to go?
Well, the pharaohs, weren't some of their own servants killed with them when they
killed with them? Some were mummified with them. So yeah, in order for them to serve them for eternity. So I think that's another one.
Okay.
That might be weird.
That sounds weird. I think I'll pass on that one. Here, this one about Peter Cushing. So Peter Cushing, John Pertwee, old black and white series of Doctor Who Daleks, or the mannequins coming alive. Boy, that's stretching back. But yeah, these are all questions about immortality. They're good sci-fi questions. But I think we're starting to hit some points in technology where this is becoming more of a question of reality.
What's going to actually happen.
Right.
You know, one generation away. Who knows? Geez.
Yeah. Yep.
So Mike Winger, do you have anything to add?
No, I'm just hanging out.
I got you.
I'm just hanging out.
Okay. Well, real quick here, let me go ahead and give us full screen for a little bit. So, John, why are you doing these stories?
Oh,
what was the inspiration?
Okay, so the inspiration for these stories had to do with asking some of these bigger questions and asking them in a way that's a good story. I a lot of the times I just wanted to write something because I was watching a show or reading a book and I thought, I like that, but it's not quite what I'm looking for. So went ahead and wrote it. That was part of it. And especially when you get to the novel series, Shadows of Time, there is a big part of that goes into why that's there. And when we have stories, even it's as simple as a good story where Christians aren't being bashed, that's a positive. right? And then you also have maybe asking some of these deeper questions, like in A Taste of Earth, the questions about salvation, but not a beating you over the head with it, just as a side question saying, what about this? And so many other things. So that's a big point of why is writing these stories and taking culture back.
So if you guys want to help with that, go get the book, post a review about it, give your honest opinions, and let's do this together. Let's actually take back our culture before we end up in a bad condition.
Yeah.
So let's see. Is there anything else in the chat, guys? Let me go ahead and grab this real quick. Let me grab the link for the book and post it into the chat. I know it's in the description, but doesn't mean everyone checks the description.
That's right. And
not everyone even watches the video.
And this is an ebook form, so it's an easy download. There's no physical copy of this because it's so small. Then just like A Taste of Earth, the same thing. Grab them. There is not an audiobook version of this yet. There may be sometime in the future, but please do not let that stop you from getting this and downloading. A Taste of Earth, by the way, is free right now. Download it. I'm not making any money on it.
So that is the one you released last
month.
So it's only a month old, and you already have it on there for free?
Yeah, it's a Lost Leader.
For free.
Yep, that is. And the Death Has No Shadow is 99 cents, so it's $1. But this is hopefully, and then next month there's Cohesion Lost. The month after that is Child of the Stone. The month after that is the novel, The Healing Stone. And so these are all things that you could use as a way, as points of conversation with people and stuff like that. So it's cool stuff. Besides being a good show.
Okay, so I got a little bit of soundboard going, so I get to actually.
Yeah. Glad it wasn't the laugh track you hit there.
But by the way, Derek has a very pessimistic view of his audience, assuming they do not read the description.
Well, some people don't read the descriptions on things. Some people don't even watch the videos on things. It gets annoying. And then
all your fans watch the videos. All your fans watch the videos and read the descriptions.
Not according to my statistics.
But you know what? You ought to put something in there to say, if you actually read this, you just won a prize. Here it is. Click on it.
I should do that. I should put that in all of my video descriptions.
See if that's in there. See how many people actually read
maybe a link to get a goat eating the crawn toy.
The first 5 people who click on this link.
I gotta start doing those sort of things. That would be cool. I gotta figure out how to do that.
Or the first person to click on the link, because that has, for whatever reason, been extremely popular. I don't know what it is with that goat, but you hit the nail on the head with that.
It's the stupidest thing, and I want to be remembered for that. It's funny.
Yes.
I'm going to go down in history as the one who made that goat thing.
You're the goat whisperer, and it is the goat yeller.
So, okay. So is there anything else that you'd like to add? I think we've hit this topic pretty well.
I am
here.
Okay. So on my channel, I do reviews of books, movies, and TV series, as well as apologetics and other topics that come up. But I'm looking to I want to support authors, Christian authors that are doing that. And I've got a couple that I've already worked with so far. This Thursday, I have Jono that's coming on. He's in Australia. Last week, I had Ryan Schultz on live. We did a review together. So these are Christian authors that are coming on. I want to be able to support more and more of the community for that, to say, listen, God is creative, and you can see what happens when the enemy gets a hold of creativity. Just look at Disney. Disney is this monster that goes around, sucks up these other studios like Pixar and everything, and then pretty soon it just like a vampire has taken all the life out, and all that's left is this husk. And that's what the enemy does. That creativity comes originally from God. And Jesus used parables. He used stories to be able to get kingdom principles across, especially to people who had their guard up and said, I'm not going to listen to this religious stuff anymore. But if you say it as a story and wrap kingdom principles in that, make it digestible, they'll listen to that type of thing. So that's the main reason why I'm doing all this.
So there's the link to his channel there. If you guys want to check his channel out, you're more than welcome to. We will continue. I love helping other channels reach and grow. And it's been fun. In fact, I have another one joining me next Saturday. So I'm going to be doing an interview next Saturday. You guys are more than welcome to join us and find out who that is.
Cool. Looking
So
forward
it should
to
be
that.
fun. So let me see if I want to grab anything else. And then we have the poll. So the poll, are you only a biological machine? We have 11 say yes. 22 said maybe. And
does it say that only a biological machine?
Only.
I would say definitely no.
That's why I put only.
Yeah.
I should put that in caps.
Yeah, because we're God-breathed.
Yep. So the question is, are we only a biological machine? 11% of you guys out there who voted on this said yes.
Yeah.
So
from a secular standpoint, from an atheistic standpoint, that's all you have. So that answer is, yeah, you're just...
That's it. From a secular standpoint, that is the end of it. So thank you guys so much for joining us. I think we'll go ahead and wrap this on up here. Check out John's channel. Check out the book. Give a review. Those reviews help more than you know.
Tremendously.
Just like sharing, liking, and subscribing on this channel or his channel. Also helps us out immensely. So thank you guys so much. God bless. And have yourselves a good Sunday.